Welcome to the Redemption Podcast Show. I'm U.S. Army veteran and poetic human John Krotec.
And I am a former professional fighter, the champion soul, Jason Freebird Freeman. In a sincere effort to help others and to set some records straight, we share our personal stories and scripture and offer real solutions to overcoming the challenges of life.
We appreciate you being here. And remember, the truth
shall set you free.
Welcome back to the Redemption Podcast Show. Jason Freebird Freeman and myself, John Krotec, started this podcast over a year ago. And we did it as an educational series of podcasts about Jason's grandfather, one of the most notorious cult figures in American history. And we wanted to tell the truth. You know, nobody likes being lied to. And it seems like everywhere we look these days, we're getting misinformation, disinformation, malinformation, a lot of noise, and a lot of it's not even reliable or credible. So we're seeing all these lies out there. And that's what the Redemption Podcast Show is about. We want to talk about the truth. We want to have a reliable show where the information Jason and I put out is something you can count on. Again, everywhere we look these days, we see people getting away with things that we wouldn't even think of. They're being rewarded for, behavior that's illegal or not very becoming. And, and even in the Bible, I think it's, I don't know, in Job or Isaiah, it's either 59:4 Isaiah or Job 8:3, he asked, do the godly people pervert justice? And so this is a rhetorical statement. Everywhere we look, we see justice being perverted. The good's bad, the bad's good, and it's like people are confused. So back to this show, fake news and whatever.
Fake news, and it's legal. It's okay to spread lies. It's amazing these days to sit back and listen to what's being shared and spread and called true.
You're right, Jason. I did a poll on LinkedIn several weeks ago, and the question was, are leaders obligated to tell the truth? And it was just a simple yes or no.
Okay. So that was your poll.
And I got just as many no's as I got yes. So think about the consciousness of a world where people are taking a survey and answering a poll and saying it's okay for leaders to lie.
Yeah.
Man, is that not crazy or what?
I think a lie makes people feel more comfortable. And if you can keep people comfortable, they're not going to flare up.
Well, we've heard that the truth hurts, but we've also heard the truth can set you free. So enough about truth and reliability. Welcome to the show. We're back. Jason and I are rebranding it, so to speak. We're going to talk about a lot of things and add some scriptures in there. But the main thing is we want to share stories, talk about concepts, talk about issues, and tell the truth. Why hide the truth when it can set you free?
Why hide the truth when the truth can set you free? I was in the court system for most of my childhood, age 11, all the way up into an adult, age 27. I call that a mentorship program because if I didn't have those men around me and those coaches or the guards or the probation officers, I could have wound up in a lot more trouble or even dead. So I call it an education opportunity because I've turned out fine. But now here I am. I've been in a state case for a little over 6 years now to obtain my grandfather's estate. It's the Manson name, the likeness, the image, the royalties, book rights, whatever it may consist of. And there's truly one other person that's in the mix from me being able to move forward. And of course, that is uh, a will that was supposedly written and orchestrated by my grandfather while in prison. So that's where we're at. 6 years later, here we are, still trying to move forward with my life and create those awesome opportunities that God has given me, but we're still in the court system. Now, is there justice or is this a circus for the court system?
That's a
That's a
great
rhetorical
question.
question.
You know, let me ask you this. Has this will, supposed will that your grandfather wrote, has it been
Okay.
proven that it's even authentic?
I tell you what, from the first part of the case when my grandfather passed away, and I prayed about it. Sorry about that. I've prayed about it and prayed about it to see if I should even jump in there and be present at the time of death for my grandfather. Prayed about it, asked my close family, and I made that choice to step in there and oversee things. It wasn't easy. It's not easy, but it was worth it. You should respect your elders, your family members, and I was doing the right thing. I did the right thing. So at that point, the case was held up for me to receive my grandfather's body for at least 3 to 4 months because of that will being there, fighting back against me because the will states, I'd have to look again. It's been so long, but that this other person is to obtain my grandfather's remains. So, with that being in the mix and myself being in the mix, um, it just it got dirty. I mean, I sat back and watched these people talk and talk and talk and talk and downgrade me and who am I? And I come out of nowhere, but here I am standing up for my grandfather's rights, and I'm the bad guy throughout all of this. Somehow.
Yeah, there's a lot of stories that have swirled. There's the truth, and then there's the fantasy. And we're let's talk squat here. There's a lot of money at stake with you talk about your grandfather's likeness, but anything that would have his likeness or his name attached to it, there's an opportunity for royalties and to make a lot of money, right? So it's
Yes.
understandable that somebody that's not really directly involved would want to come forward and be part of all of that. And I think that there are some people that may be looking at you like that as well. But the difference here is
Sure.
you're a blood relative and they're
Big
not.
difference.
And
Big
that's a huge
difference.
difference. So is that part of the
Changes
holdup
everything.
of what's going on? Is that
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
you have the remains, so obviously somewhere along the line, somebody legally looked at the evidence, made a decision,
thank you.
and
Thank
said Jason
yes.
Freebird Freeman is the rightful heir to the ashes of Charles Manson.
Well, to obtain my grandfather and then go through the process of the uh, coroner, the funeral, spraying of the ashes, and we were doing a documentary along that whole trail and filming everything, keeping everything historically documented.
That's in the Bible too. Whenever there's money involved, you know, people come out of the
Oh,
wood, and
yeah. I mean, you would have thought you fed all these squirrels for years because all these squirrels are coming out of the trees, coming out of the woodwork, and they have their hands out. Um, Sometimes I see that within the people that I associate with, and I get it. Money is important for us to have the life that we have. I'm a person that just wants to make sure that my family's taken care of, and that's what I'm focusing on. And it's not just about me in the present. It's about my family in the future. I look at the past of our family. Ah, things are changing. Things are changing with me, and I'm going to make sure that my family and our relatives are taken care of for the rest of their lives.
See, that's what a lot of people don't understand. We talk about stories and storytelling and the truth behind the facts. It's hard to change a dark family legacy. It's hard to transform
Yeah.
ourselves personally from behaviors and
Come
thought
on.
patterns that are not good, you know.
Yep.
And, even myself personally, I've had my brushes with the law and I've been in the legal system too. And I was always one hair away of not getting in serious trouble. But what I've learned is that there are people out there that remember the old John Krotec, before we put on before we found Christ and before we did the things that we're doing now. And
Yeah.
people will
Yeah.
remember the old
Learn
Jason and they're probably like,
learning.
oh, him? Oh, I remember that guy, when he was drunk off his rear end and driving down the street and, doing stupid stuff. And those, it
Yeah.
draws the haters out. And
John, but
yeah.
let me ask you this though. Why is this blows my mind. I'll call up somebody I've known for many years. And our first part of our conversation is what I did 25 years ago. And not about, hey, Freeman, I'm so thankful to see what you're doing. You're a business owner, you got a nonprofit, you're working with kids, you're going into jails, you're just doing, don't there's no focus on that, on the new memories, on the new things that are coming up. People still want to harp on the past and they want to bring those stories up again. I mean, I had to hang the phone up. It's like my that's 20 years ago. I don't know what you're talking about because that's not in the front of my mind. But that that picture of how we acted or the things that we may have done or didn't do capture an image in people's minds that continuously is brought back up again in their minds over and over again. I don't get it.
Well, you said it yourself, though. People stay stuck in the untruths or people stay stuck in the past. And the only way that you're ever going to move forward is you're going to have to think about the past, learn from the past, and move forward in a way that's a lot more positive than that. And again, you and I aren't the only human beings on the planet that have to deal with these kinds of things. You're talking about the Manson family name and ancestral trauma, and the little bit that I know, I mean, it's a sordid tale. It's a family and a lot and a lineage of being in the system, on the other side of the law for a long, long time. And so, I've known you now going on 3
Yes.
years. And from what I've learned, and whether people want to believe it or not doesn't matter to me. What I've learned, you are truly you have transformed yourself, and you basically have said the buck stops here. You're trying to turn that dark legacy into something that's more positive. And I'm not here to toot your horn. I mean, but what I'm saying is, and what I want people to know is, Jason is my co-host on Redemption Podcast Show, but he also wants to help people and he wants to change the dark family name. And the buck stops there with him. And it's been a transformational process. Everything has not been hunky-dory behind the scenes with us, but he is truly,
Painful.
truly being sincere in his desire to move forward and to take care of his family. So that's been a blessing for me to be able to witness that and to be a co-host. So what do we need to do, Jason? What's going on? Who's perverting justice out there? The people that are trying to say they're related
I
to
was going to
you,
say the same thing, John. There's justice, and then there's money, and then there's people that are greedy that don't want to let go, and there's people that are greedy that want to hold on to something that's just not theirs. And for justice in the court system, um, they have recognized me as next of kin, as the grandson of Charles Manson. So, with saying that, um, I've done my part. I walked this out and I did everything in my power to do what I felt was right. And if anybody was hurt along the way, I really don't care
Yeah,
because
yeah, and
this is my life.
yeah, and the wheels
You know,
of justice. We've heard that saying before. The wheels of justice grind slowly, and you said yourself, whenever you put money and human beings together in a controversial issue,
oh,
you're
oh no.
gonna have problems. And so we need to come back to square one all the time. And that's having integrity in everything that we do. And it's tough sometimes. You said it's easier to take the dark path than it is to take the light path because everybody's having fun on the easy way out or on the dark way out. But when it comes to the truth and doing the tough things in life that you need to do, oh my gosh,
Well, John,
you just got to do it.
that's the hardest transition. I mean, if you're used to living one style, one lifestyle, right? And this goes out to everybody who wants to make a change in their lives. It's not a week process. It's not a 2 week process. It's not even a 5 year process. It's a lifelong chance to turn your life around. You could always turn your life around. You could always
Always.
go left instead of going right. You can always read a different book. You can always listen to a different song, and you can always talk to different people. You don't need to have those people in your corner that are not leading you down the right path that you need to be on in life. People have so much potential hidden on the inside. And I want to be one of those people that draws it out so that we can see the best in people and not focus on the worst.
No, that's a great point. And I read somewhere one time that, if we took the whole population and you were trying to reach them, with a message of hope and a message of faith and a message of truth and redemption, that a third of the people are going to absolutely love your message, right? Those are the
Yeah,
people, those are the people that you can reach. Then there's a third of the people that are going to hate your message and hate you. You can't reach them. And why waste your
regardless.
time? And then there's about a third of the people that are ambivalent. You might pull one or two to your side. And so those who are listening, if you're trying to promote yourself or promote your company or trying to be accepted or approved, just remember this: 2/3 of the people out there either hate you or they don't care. So what you need to
Cool.
do, hone your message, spend your time on the people who love you and love what you do. And so this is going to be a plug for my co-host. You need to visit his website, jasonfreebirdfreeman.com. Spell it all out. I know it's long, but it's worth it. And if you're trying to get yourself out of a mess or change some of your behaviors and thought patterns from trauma, if you have a relative who's done some heinous deeds and you need to change the way things are going, then visit his website, take $297 and take his Decide to Fight online program. It'll be the best, by the way, based on sound boxing techniques, martial arts, and the power of prayer. Go to his
Come on.
website, take the money, take the course, and I promise you it will change your life. And so, just like this Redemption podcast show, if you listen and you are sincere in your desire to be positive in your life, then you will get something from what Jason and I are talking about, and you can change your life. It's never too late.
It's never too late. Don't ever give up on yourself.
Never. And so, state of California, let's get this case going. Let's make a decision. Quit
It's
perverting
rock.
justice. Let's just get it going. And for those haters out there, God bless you. Jason, I'll see you on the next episode where we're going to talk about the ashes of your grandfather and what happened to those. And there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. But thank you
It
for tuning in.
is. It is.
Any final thoughts, Jason, on the next show, or final thoughts to people listening?
Hey, stay tuned. We're just getting started. Um, the flowers are blooming. The sky is wide open. Opportunities are in front of us. I'm just excited to be here, and I'm finally expressing who I am, what I believe in, and who's in my corner.
Thank you, Jason. See you next time.
Yes, thank you, John.
Thanks again for listening to this episode of the Redemption Podcast Show. We hope you got some wisdom out of it. Don't forget, the truth
Shall set you free.